brilliant career, Larry Bird has done it all. He has achieved every possible honor in the game of basketball, including championships, awards, and the retirement of his jersey. But now he receives the game's ultimate honor as he takes his place in the Basketball Hall of Fame. We've seen some of his great moments. We've heard from his friends and former teammates about the only thing left is to hear from the man himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Bird. He is joined by his former coach with the Boston Celtics, Bill Fitch. He is welcomed into the Hall of Fame by his former Celtic teammate, Bill Walton.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I was going to have Bill Walton write my speech tonight. They say his speeches are a lot longer than his career was, so we'll try to stay away from that. Tell you one quick story about Coach Fitch. Back in 1980, when I first came to the Boston Celtics, when we went on to our road trips, we had a thing called seniority. Sometimes there wasn't enough first-class seats for all of us, so of course the rookies and the 1 or 2 year veterans had to go to the back of the plane. Well, I did that the first 2 or 3 road trips, and one day I was sitting at the airport, and I was just thinking, wondering what kind of ticket I'm going to get today. Am I going to get a pink ticket for first class? I'm going to get a white ticket for coach seat. Well, we just came off a 3-game road trip, and I played very well, so I thought, well, this is the time to make my move. Ray Melchiori came by. Sure enough, he handed me a white boarding pass. I said, excuse me, Ray, you go tell Coach Fitch that I'm a first-class player. I expect a first-class seat. Of course, Ray came back, and Coach Fitch says, tell him to get his butt on the plane. You know, I've always considered myself a very proud individual. I've always said I was very proud to come from a small town, French Lick in West Baden, Indiana. I was always very proud to spend 4 great years in Terre Haute, Indiana, and Indiana State University. And guess, I'm very proud to say I spent 13 years playing for the Boston Celtics. I've been very fortunate throughout my career to have some great coaches. It all started back in a small town of West Baden and French Lick. I had 2 high school coaches, Jim Jones and Gary Holland, that spent a lot of time with me, teaching me the fundamentals of the game. Back when I was in the 7th or 8th grade, playing on the outdoor courts every day, whenever we was out there, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, didn't matter, Coach Jones would always stop by and see how we was progressing. Every day he would give us a new drill to work on, whether it was the pick and roll that I ran with Robert Parrish time after time after time, or as a basic free throw shooting, or just a basic bounce pass. But every day he gave us something to work on, me and my friends. And he said, I'll be back after a while to see how you're progressing. We would stay there and stay there and stay there, just knowing he was coming back. Sure enough, he did. Time after time, Coach Jones would do this. We'd go out, we'd play, we'd spend 3 or 4 hours waiting on him. He'd finally come back. Some days it was 5 hours, but sure enough, we would be there because we didn't want to disappoint him. Coach Jones came back one day, and I said, Coach, what do you do when you leave here? He said, I got other places to go, but I'm always going to come back to see how you guys progress. Well, now, 20 years later, or really, what is it now? 30 years later, I asked him. He said, hell, Larry, so I went to play golf. You know? But I had another coach in high school, Gary Holland. He taught me one thing. He taught me what a green light was. One night we was playing a basketball game, and he says, Larry, you have the green light. I said, green light? What's that? He goes, you have the ability to play the game the way you want to play the game. If you want to shoot it out there, you shoot it. If you want to pass, just make the plays. If you play hard, you play well, we win every time. That green light's been on for 30 years now. You know, I feel very honored to be here, having Coach Fitch coming in the NBA, playing for Boston my first year. I didn't know what to expect, but Coach Fitch treated me like a player. He worked me hard. He taught me a lot about the game. I owe a lot to him. He's what made me what I am today, especially coming through the pro ranks. He wanted to accomplish the same feats that I wanted to accomplish, and that's to win championships. I can remember in 1981, after a tough year, he was on us pretty hard. Excuse me? And there was about 4 or 5 seconds to go in the game. He says, we need one more rebound to win this championship. He said, somebody get the ball. He said, if we do, you'll finally put a smile on my face. And he was smiling so wide right then because he knew we had it wrapped up. We went out, finished that game, and it was the most awesome feeling I've ever had in basketball. See, I played a lot of basketball up until I got to Boston, but I really never won anything. So that night, it was very special, not only for me, but my coach. Other coaches that I had, the great Casey Jones, one of the greatest human beings ever born on this earth. Feel so lucky and honored to play for him. I can remember in L.A. in the Game 5 of the championship series, we was out there. And we were down by 2 or 3 points at halftime, and we'd come out to warm up before we started the third quarter, and Casey come walking out, and he called me over. He said, Larry, he said, I hate to tell you this. He said, there's been a death threat on your life. I go, what? He says, well, there's been a death threat, so you got to make a decision whether you want to finish the game or go back and sit in the locker room and wait till we get done or leave the arena. That's why I'm going to play. So Casey just turns and walks away. I go right through the layup line on the other side, and I look over, and here's come Casey pointing at me. I walk over to Casey. I said, now what? He goes, well, the horn's getting ready to blow here, Larry. He said, whatever you do, don't come to the huddle. He said, could you please stand out here? He said, could you please stand out here at center court? He said, you never know, the guy might be a bad shot. So just in the horn blows, I walk over to KC. He's drawing on a play. I put my arm around him. He looks up, puts his head down, squats down a little bit so the guys are surrounding him. He goes, thanks a lot. Now, you got to understand, this is in the finals of the NBA and how cool Casey was under them circumstances. I also had Chris Ford and Jimmy Rogers, very good coaches of mine. There's a lot of great stories to tell tonight, but I won't get into all of them. The one thing I wish could happen tonight is my mother to be here, because I know she's very proud looking down. She always She always told me late in her life, a few years back, she goes, for a blonde-headed, snotty-nosed kid, you did very well, Larry. I'm very proud of you. Also, I'd like to thank my wife for putting up with me for 21 years. But if you think the first 21 were tough, wait till the next 21, girl. I'd also like to thank Jill Leone. It's been helping me out for the past 20, 21 years now. She's been a great help to me, been a great friend, very professional. I don't know what else to say. I tell you, it's been awesome. I would also like to thank Red Auerbach for drafting me back when I was a junior in college and waiting on me for a year. And I would also like to thank Donnie Walsh for giving me an opportunity to coach the Indiana Pacers. It's something I didn't think I would ever want to do, but after talking to Donnie and promising him that I would win a championship, he bit the bait, and I'm in Indiana. So thank you very much. I'm so thrilled and so honored to be here tonight. God bless each and every one of you.